Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast, and today's topic is this: sleep training. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Nico, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yep. All right, Dad. So I am in the midst of some sleep coaching, sleep training, sleep reboots with Nico, who, as you may know, is 5 years old. I'm going to explain what we're doing there, so it might help you if you have an older kid. But I'm going to say two things first. One is the title of this is sleep training, but that term in newborn, infant, baby, toddler world has the implication that it is sleep training, meaning the cry it out method. And I am not a big fan at all of the cry it out method. There's tons and tons of research showing that it's really stressful on the baby. The problem with sleep training and the cry it out method, and that's where if the baby's crying and you keep going in, that you progressively keep letting them cry longer and longer and longer, night by night or nap by nap or whatever it might be. Might be like 3 minutes and then 5 and then 7. The problem with it is it works because the baby starts crying, but it's because they've learned that their cry, in this case, cry for help, meaning cry for comfort, cry for whatever reason it is, gets shut off. They realize, okay, nobody's coming, so I'm going to stop crying. And so, yes, they fall asleep, but the research has shown that their cortisol levels are still really high, just as high as the first couple nights of trying to do it. It doesn't resolve. So they're asleep, but their stress hormones are really high. And in a way of understanding like physiological sleep or just basic physiology, you have the fight or flight response, and then you have rest and digest, right? So the fight or flight is what the kiddo is in when either they wake up or they're put down to sleep, mom and dad leave and they feel scared, they want comfort, whatever it might be, and they're in fight or flight. So they can't run away and they can't fight, but they can cry. So they're in that stress state. The problem, and what happens though, is when when they do fall asleep and they are quiet, they're really in the freeze. So there's fight or flight and freeze. And the freeze response is the deer in the headlights, right? So the deer in the headlights response is just not moving at all. My cries aren't getting help, so I'm going to be as quiet and still as possible and kind of playing possum so that the saber-toothed tiger doesn't come and find me. And that's just not good. One, in a voicing sense, we want our kids knowing that we're supportive, we're coming for them, we're protecting them, we're nurturing them. And two, you don't want your kids locked in a state of fight or flight, in a stress physiology when they're sleeping. They're not going to get as good as sleep. So that was a big, long preamble into sleep training. So like what I'm doing with Nico right now is kind of like getting rid of some bad habits that we've gotten into over the years. So the second thing before I go into what I'm doing with Nico is start with good habits, Dad. So there's tons and tons of ways of putting a kid to sleep. I'm not going to go into all of those kind of things, but what I'm doing with Nico right now, and it's going to take a couple weeks, could have been prevented from what I've learned from the sleep coach that we're working with. How do we set up better sleep hygiene, better sleep manners, better sleep habits right from the get-go? And so if you're a brand new dad, I want you to write this down. So this is going to be a commercial for Jen Varela and Sugar Night Night, her sleep company. She's a gentle sleep coach. I don't get any compensation for giving her a shout out. She is somebody that I've known for years. I know her locally here in San Diego. I was introduced through this prenatal wellness center that I'm part of. I've interviewed her a number of times on my other podcast, Healthy Births, Happy Babies, so you can look up episodes on sleep for with her there, and I've referred a ton of people to her for specific advice in their situations, and she's awesome. And now I'm working with her, and she's given me a whole plan of how to do it step by step, night by night. Look for these things to work, and before you go on to the next. So it's really methodical and based in sleep research for kids. So her name is Jen Varela. SugarNightNight.com is her website, and she's amazing. She's been really, really helpful. And strangely enough, I learned this on one of the interviews I did. She is an expert in the sleep window of a baby at 3.5 months. I had no idea anything existed, but apparently at 3.5 months, there are patterns can be started at that point that can make a huge impact for toddler life later on. And that means either going from the bed to the crib, from the crib to their own toddler bed, staying in bed, sleep at night, sleep routines, making it easier, nap time routines, all this kind of stuff. And anyway, so she's amazing. And so if you are a dad to be or a dad with a kiddo that's under 3.5 months or right around that window, understand like this is a great time to get educated about sleep habits, because I'm a huge fan of sleep. I love sleeping. As a dad, I'm sure you would love to get more sleep, but you'll get more sleep when your kid gets more sleep. Your kid's going to be happier and healthier, brain development, motor development, all those kind of things. You'll be much better off. But you're going to get more sleep because the kiddo's sleeping through the night. They're not coming into bed with you. They're not doing all that kinds of night wakenings and all that stuff that you as a brand new dad might be experiencing, because the newborn wakes up every 4 hours to eat. But later on down the line, if you've got a kiddo that's coming into bed all the time, crying in the middle of the night, all those kind of things, this can save you a lot. So I wish I'd known this back then, but I didn't. So I'm on to the next. Now I'm doing some work with Nico, and what I'm doing with him on a night-to-night basis is kind of intricate. So it may take, I'm going to do this on the next episode so that you can hear what I'm doing with a 5-year-old. And this is fast forward, and I'll give you a little tidbit of what happened is the bad habits that we set up with Nico, which I kind of knew this might be a problem later on down the line, but we just went with it. And anyway, it is what it is we are falling asleep currently now. He's 5 years old. At bedtime, we do books. We do our routine, and we have a good routine. I'll go over that in the next episode. But when lights are out and we're done with books, I'm staying in bed with Nico while he falls asleep. And sometimes I fall asleep too. But that's created a habit of him needing my presence. The presence and touch are the two habits there that are making it more difficult when he wakes up in the middle of the night. He's used to me being there and me laying by his side, so presence and touch, so that when he sees that I'm not there, he comes and finds me. And I'm doing a method right now that's going to help that. And I've only been doing it a couple of nights, and it's already starting to work, so I'm stoked. But I'll go into those specifics in the next episode if you've got an older child with those kind of similar habits you're doing with them. But for this episode, I highly recommend, there's other gentle sleep coaches out there, I'm sure. Jen's just the one that I know and trust and love, and she's got amazing programs that even if you don't live in San Diego, you can take advantage of, because all the consulting stuff I'm doing about laying out a plan and stuff I've been doing over the phone, so you can tap into her that way. So Sleep habits. Think about them. No, get educated on them, Dad. Get your wife and you on board with creating some really good sleep habits, because it's an investment in the next couple years of sleep for you both. It's really, really good stuff, and stuff I wish I'd known when I was a new dad like you. So I'm passing it on to you. Hopefully you take advantage. I will see you on the next episode. Until next time, take good care of yourself, take good care of your family, and we'll connect on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. You can hang out with other dads in our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for the Dadhood Journey, and apply to get in. See you there, and see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Perfect.
There you go, Dan.